Yep, there we go.
All right.
After a long 1 minute, I can officially call to order the October 2nd meeting of the Upper Macungie Township Board of Supervisors. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we've just concluded what's been a very deep day of reflection for some of us, and I wanted to make sure that we, before we get started tonight, all engage in a little bit of reflection and making sure that we are in part honoring those who came before us, in part acknowledging those who are in this journey with us, and also making sure that we're taking the right steps to lay the right groundwork for the people that come after us. So if we can take a moment, please, I'd appreciate it. Okay. Abruptly. We will move to the first real item on the agenda, which is the public hearing for the intermunicipal liquor license transfer request for 241 North PA Route 100. This is a public hearing regarding an intermunicipal liquor license transfer request, liquor license number R-600521 from 10th, I guess it's 10th Street, but 10th STR LLC, City of Allentown, to U.S. Petroleum Service, Inc., 241 North PA Route 100, Branningsville, Pennsylvania, 18031. The Board of Supervisors will not take action during this hearing. However, the board is scheduled to act on it during an agenda item later in this meeting. And with that, I'll turn it over to Solicitor Shantz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I turn this over to the applicant, quite quickly, I'd like just to put on the record that this public hearing was published in the Parkland Press on September 17th and September 24th of 2025. So it has been advertised in compliance with the Pennsylvania statute. With that, I'll turn it over to the applicant to make their presentation.
Please, the board. My name is Angelo Almonte. I'm here on behalf of U.S. Petroleum Service, Inc. Have my client here available for questions. I'd just like to give just a brief statement. I think everything's been pretty well laid out. It's very simple. This is just a request for a resolution for an intermunicipal liquor license transfer. So liquor license that's coming from Allentown, 4246 10th Street. It's moving up here to 241 North PA State Route 100. We put into a gas station. It's going to be kind of similar to what you see at Sheetz. It'll be selling 6-packs, beer, wine, liquor. It's not going to be a nightclub or anything of that nature. So we're just requesting respectfully to grant a resolution to allow that intermunicipal transfer from Allentown here to.
Okay. Thank you, Attorney Almonte. I like your tie, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
And my client's present if you have questions as to hours of operations.
Okay. Why don't we do this? Sir, if you don't mind, take the mic. We'll have you sworn in.
Jitendra here.
Did you get that, Melissa?
Spell it out.
Yes, please.
I'm going to swear you in first. If you raise your right hand, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God. And would you spell your name, please?
Yep. Jatinder.
And that's your,
First name.
and then what is your last name?
Heer.
Thank you.
Mr. Here, you heard what Attorney Almonte indicated about the what's going in here. Can you give us a little bit of detail about, you said it's going to be Sheetz-like. Give us a little bit of detail. I know you have to have some seating, some restaurant capability there. Talk to us a little bit.
So half of it is already a gas station. The other half used to be Dunkin' Donuts, which we converted over to a restaurant, and it will have 30 seating and whatever kind of cooler. We don't have any cooler or anything of that yet, but once we get approval, we will have the plans and everything for that as well.
Okay, so it's going to be a 30-seat dining room?
Yes.
Okay, and is that, I don't know the required by the PA LCB?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of food are we serving there?
Spanish.
Okay. Is it a separate entrance for the restaurant, or is it all sort of a single entrance for the gas station?
Yeah, it
restaurant?
has two entrance, but yeah, pretty much the same entrance for both, but it has two sets of double doors.
Okay. And it's got enough parking for the restaurant as well?
Yes,
How many parking spots does it have?
I'm not sure, but
But you know it's enough.
yes. Yeah.
Okay. When is it, so is it gonna be sit down, order drinks? Is it a full bar? Is it takeaway beer, takeaway wine? What's the alcohol service gonna
It'll
be?
be takeaway mostly. Yep.
Okay. But this isn't a liquor license that includes the service of hard alcohol, right?
It does include liquor.
Okay. Is there gonna be liquor service at this restaurant?
No, I don't know.
Okay. I appreciate the help from the back, but we do have a stenographer here taking down what we say, and if we're taking stuff under oath, so.
It does have it, but our plan isn't to use it for that. Our
Okay.
plan is just to use it for beer and wine. You know, just the same model as you see at other gas stations. We're probably trying to follow the same model.
Okay, well, it's just my concern as I look at it, that we have the liquor part is a different consideration than a Sheetz consideration of beer and wine at a gas station.
Yep.
Okay, so you're committing that you're not gonna have liquor service, there's not gonna be a full bar there?
Okay. Yes, we are.
Okay, and the beer is gonna be stored in coolers on site, or is it gonna be behind is it gonna be secured anywhere inside?
Yeah, it'll have its own. It'll have separate cooler that you could walk in. You know, grab if you need to grab a 6-pack or 12, you could grab that, and then it'll have in the front you can just grab like singles. You know, like just individual bottles.
Okay.
Yep.
And
But
is
we I don't really know too much about it. We haven't really planned all that out yet. But it'll be mostly like what you see. Like if you go in the cooler, you can grab a 12-pack. But if you just want something in a smaller quantity, just you open the door. It'll just have singles.
Okay. And I don't know the answer to this question, so I'm asking, is it required that everyone who works at this gas station get ramps training then?
I think it does. Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
everyone is going to be trained about the service of alcohol to visibly intoxicated or underage people.
Yes.
Sonny, any questions?
No, you mentioned hours of operation. Maybe you could just share that with us.
Yep. It'll be
You're
5 to
gonna-
11.
Sorry,
5 to 11.
5 a.m. to 11,
Yes.
and then you'll be servicing beer and wine from 5 a.m. to 11.
Whatever the state allows. Whatever the time for that is. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure. Do you know what the allowed time is?
There's a 2 p.m. closing. I'm not sure the opening hours off the top of my head, but I think 5 a.m. is probably too early.
Seems that way. That's why I asked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you have a problem then if it starts you're starting at 5. Okay.
We'll abide by the.
Okay. Yeah, all right, yeah. Okay.
But they plan on closing at 11. It's not going to be something that's going to be open early anyway. It won't be an after-hours club.
Do we know, I'm sorry to interrupt, do we know that if the restaurant service has to be open at the same time as the alcohol service does?
I believe so.
So unless he's willing to have restaurant service at 5 a.m. as well for Spanish food, that perhaps we're going to have more of a lunchtime to dinner time service and open for alcohol. Is that fair? I'm not committing you anything. I'm just,
Okay.
your understanding is at this point, if you have to operate food and
Okay.
the beer service at the same time, you're committing to doing those at the same time. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, I was just curious about the time.
Jim?
I too share the same concerns, but there's nothing we can do, Jeff, in terms of limits to any of this. It's regulated by the state, so no, I'm good.
Well, I think that they're not planning on serving hard alcohol makes me feel a
Well,
little bit better that
a
it's
lot
more
better,
consistent
yeah.
with what we have already in the township.
And he has committed to that.
Yeah.
Correct.
We'll just.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and Andrew, I don't know how some of these other commitments that what can we put on the record and what can we get him to commit to legally as opposed to, he's getting a license for all of it. There's certain things.
Really, we really can't put conditions on it. There have been instances in the past where we have, and the applicants agreed to do that, but it doesn't go in as part of the licensing of it. It's just more for the level of comfort of the township. But as far as enforceability, I don't know how they are, but they've been a little bit different sites where we've, asked about live music or music being played or whether or not they're going to have certain things. I guess one of the things I'd like to know is just for the record to give a brief description of the surrounding area, what businesses are, in the immediate vicinity of yours.
A diner next door, and behind it, truck, some kind of trucking,
Okay.
trucking.
Can,
warehouse.
I believe
can
there's
I tell them where it is? Can I give them a better, do you mind?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Go ahead.
It's just north of Starlight Diner. It's currently a Shell gas station. So you have the restaurant, I forget what the name of it is, behind it, as well as the hotel. And XPO is what you're talking about in terms of the trucking company that's behind you there.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Commercial industrial, there's no housing there.
there's no schools
So it's
right
it's
there.
between the light at Penn Drive and the ramp to 78
Okay.
on the right hand side if you're going north.
And I think you may have touched upon this, but what is your carding policy? What will that be? Carding everyone that comes through?
Yeah, like as soon as they scan the barcode, it'll come up that you have to scan an ID in order to buy it.
Okay.
If I mean, everybody, it'll be a scanner, anybody coming in will get scanned. They have to put their license in, their license. Tell you exactly what the age is.
Like when you buy beer at Wegmans, it doesn't matter your age. You got to put
Yeah,
the ID in.
exactly.
So you're going to
Yep.
have a lock in the system that you can't
Yep.
sell to. Even if you look to someone who looks my age, you still have
Yeah,
to put an ID in.
Yep.
I mean, I'm only 23, but
And again, if they serve under hires, they got company else to use, lose the license. So they got to go by all those
Yep.
license laws. So they're very strict.
And is there with the R license, I forget myself, is there a limitation as far as the amount you can, is it take out? I guess it's
Yeah.
196 ounces or something like that.
I know it's 12 bottles, but I'm not exactly sure how many milliliters, but it is how many milliliters.
Okay.
But yeah, but at least 12 bottles per case is the limit, but then it's also the amount of milliliters as well.
And that's for off-premises consumption, correct? To
Yes,
take off?
Yes, take out, yes.
And you have a policy within, I guess, as part of the certification that if someone sits there and is drinking through your training exercise, your employees will be able to recognize the
Yes.
amount of alcohol they're consuming and put a stop to that.
I think he touched upon that's the range.
That's right.
That'll be the ramp.
To
Yep.
spot anybody that may be visibly intoxicated.
I'm aware of that. I just want to get a little bit more specific on the record. I don't have any other questions. The only question I would have, and I don't know if the board's ready, but I'd just like to poll the audience to see if there's any objectors to this transfer. And seeing no hands or anything, just let the record reflect that there's no objectors present. I think with that, we can probably, if you're comfortable, we can close the hearing.
I make a motion to adjourn.
A second?
a motion made to adjourn in a second on the public hearing. All those in favor of adjourning this public hearing signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you. We'll be taking this up later on in the agenda if you want to. Sure. Probably makes sense to. Thanks, Angela.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Department, thank you. We are to number 3, additions and deletions to the agenda. Jasmine, am I correct that motion J that was signified on the docket is coming off of the agenda?
That's correct.
Okay, so we're not going to have motion J anymore. We will miss motion J terribly. Moving to minutes and financial. I'd make a motion to dispense with the reading of the meeting minutes from September 4th, 2025, general business meeting, and adopt them as presented and authorize payment of the bills for the month of September in the amount of $1,697,231.05. Is there a second to that?
I'll second that motion.
Jim, any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, we can move to a vote. All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the reading of minutes and authorize payment of bills for $1,697,231.05 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you, gentlemen. Presentations. Number 5A, the audit presentation. Michelle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today we have Chris Bentley from Bucknell Lasicki here to present the 2024 financial audit.
Evening, Chris. How are you?
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Michelle. I will try not to bore you guys too much with the audit. It's only once a year you guys got to hear this. So, all right, I have three reports in front of me. What I'll do is I'll go through the audit report, the big report first, and then I'll go through the other reports at the end. Page 1 of the independent auditor's report. This is our audit opinion. This is the opinion that we put in here. And I'm not going to go through this entire opinion. It's the same opinion that we've always had. On the second paragraph, it says, in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects. All right. That's the key sentence in this entire audit report. It means that the financial statements provided to us were accurate. Clean opinion, unmodified opinion, same opinion that you guys have gotten in the past. Right, so no changes there. What I'll do next is I'll go through some of the numbers, some of the highlights. Obviously, I'm not going to go through this entire report. But if you turn to what I'll do is I'll start with page 20 of the audit report has your proprietary funds, your business type funds. Right? Those are basically your sewer fund and refuse fund. All right. And this is the income statement or P&L for there. If you look at your sewer fund for 2024, we had a change in net position or net income of 1.3 million. Last year, that number was about 2.5 million. So a difference of about 1.2 million. The big difference, if you look at the middle of the sewer fund, you'll see treatment expenses. All right, your treatment expenses went up about 1.2, 1.1, 1.2 million this year. So that's kind of the big change if you're looking at last year compared to this year. Revenues pretty much stayed pretty steady in the sewer fund. If you look at your refuse fund lost, change in that position of negative 130,000, so almost self-sustaining. Last year, that number, that loss was negative 177. All right, so your refuse fund, your garbage fund stayed pretty consistent from the prior, even though we increased fees, you know, expenses went up, so we stayed pretty consistent there. Okay. If you turn to page 23 has your what's called your custodial funds or your fiduciary funds. And if you look, you have your pension trust fund, which is your non-uniform pension trust fund, and your escrow fund. As you can see, your non-uniform pension trust fund had 10.4 million in cash and investments at the end of the year. All right. Now, that's about 88% funded compared to your non-uniform pension liability. Your pension liability was 11.8 million. All right. So that's a difference. Your net difference is about 1.3, 1.4 million. 88% is a very, very good number as far as being funded in the pension plan. Right? If you look at your police pension plan, which is in the back of the notes through PMRS, they're about 94% funded. Right? So those are good numbers. Right? And then your escrow fund, we had 4.2 million in your escrow fund. Obviously, the offset of that is with your offset as a liability, as those are due back to developers and everyone else. If you go to page 14 has your, page 16 has your governmental funds. All right. So this is your general fund on the left, your capital equipment, your traffic improvement funds, recreation capital. Then there's this column called other governmental funds. Those are kind of the smaller funds in your governmental funds. Those make up the highway fund, your open space preservation, stormwater, those funds. But if you look on the left column, your general funds had a net change in fund balance for 2024 of about 2.5 million. Right? And you look above, that includes a $1.5 million transfer to your capital equipment fund. If you look at your recreation capital fund, you had a loss of 5.3, 5.4 million. Right? Obviously, that, if you see the number above there, that's 6.2 million in expenses. That's the $6 million of the new rec center that we had there. So if you come over the total governmental funds, your loss was 3.7 million. Right? Last year, that number was about a positive $2-3 million. Obviously, the big change is your expenses for the new recreation center of about 6 million. If you go to page 14, you can see your ending fund balance in your general fund was 48.5 million. Your total fund balance is all your governmental funds was about 52 million dollars. Right? Of that 52 million, 46 million of that is unrestricted in your general fund. Right? Last year, that unrestricted number was about $45 million. Again, the decrease, it has to do with the expenses for the recreation capital. Right? And if you can see cash up there, we had about 54 million in cash and investments. This year, we have about 51 million. So that's a decrease of the 3 million. That 3 million comes back to the net change in all your governmental funds. So that makes sense. And then obviously, if you kind of mash all those funds together, and then what you add your fixed assets and your long-term liabilities, on page 12, you have a net position of 95 million and unrestricted net position of 44.8 million. All right. Does anybody have any questions on the audit report or those numbers before I go? Okay. All right, so the next report is, this is a 2-page report. It's called a SAS 115 management comment letter. Right? In this letter, in the first section here, it kind of goes over, this letter is for any kind of internal control deficiencies that we found during the audit. In this letter kind of goes over, there's 2 types of internal control deficiencies. There's material weaknesses and significant deficiencies. Material weakness being worse than a significant deficiency. Right? Material weakness is a control that it's going to create a material misstatement in your financial statements, the lack of it. Right? This year, we did have 3 findings that need to be reported in here. The first 2 findings are what's called material weaknesses. The last one we put as a significant deficiency in internal control. Right? I'm not going to go through all of these, but basically finding number 1 had to do with not having bank reconciliations completed accurately. And if you noted in here, I put that the bank reconciliations for November and December of 24 were not completed. All the bank reconciliations were done throughout the year. The reason being, we switched to a new accounting system on November 1st of 2024, and we could not get the bank reconciliations to tie out for November and December. All right. The second finding has to do with fixed assets. We did not have a year-end accurate fixed asset or depreciation schedules. Again, we switched accounting systems. The hope was to put all the fixed asset ledgers and depreciation schedules in the new accounting system, and it just didn't work out that way. All right, so we had to kind of recreate those during the audit. All right. And the last one has to do with your escrow accounts and reconciling your escrow accounts. I think this has kind of been a little bit of a problem before, but I think the new system kind of escalated this. But we did not have a full reconciliation of the cash on hand in our escrow, the 4.7 million, and then a detailed listing of what kind of makes up all that cash in your escrow funds. Does anybody have any questions on the management comment letter before I go to the governance letter? These have all been just gone over with management. They've been discussed with management. And there's already been corrective action in place. We've already kind of fixed a lot of these problems going into the new year. So I don't see these as problems going forward. A lot had to do with the switch of the new accounting system on November 1st. But I can't say, well, it doesn't matter to me what accounting system you guys switch to or use. I have to report these based on that. Lastly, the governance letter. Again, this is another letter. This is called a SAS 114 letter. At the end of the audit, I'm required to have certain communication with you guys, with the board, if we had any kind of difficulties in dealing with the audit. If you look in the section difficulties in performing the audit, you can see that we had no difficulties in dealing with management, Michelle and her crew. We did have a lot of difficulties in performing the audit because we switched to a new accounting system on November 1st. You guys weren't thinking about the auditors when we did that switch on November 1st.
Maybe we were.
Yeah.
Maybe we want to make it tough on you.
So you can think we had two sets of accounting systems that we had to go through. We had to learn a new accounting system. So it took a lot of significant additional time this year. Obviously, we're in October and we're just getting the audit done. That's kind of one of the main reasons.
But we're at a spot now where you understand the system. Those difficulties moving forward not
Yep,
going to
I
have
think
not going
so.
to be a problem.
I think so. Yep. And like I said, also in this report is we didn't have any disagreements with management, no uncorrected misstatements, none of those issues during the audit. It was really just a new system. Attached to here is all of the adjustments that we made. It is a significant amount, obviously, but there's about 8 or 10 pages of audit adjustments that we had to make as a result of the audit. All right. Does anybody have any additional questions?
Anybody on
Shall you feel clean for next year?
Pop that over this way.
Yeah, do you feel like a lot of the, it seems like one of the things that was key was the change to the system. And honestly, I've worked in many companies, and even though as long and hard as you plan, there's always going to be hiccups when you change over to a system. And yeah, baby, we don't,
Yep.
unfortunately, we did it in November where it might have had an impact on the closings and all that, but we got through it. I'm glad. But I'm not, I guess, totally surprised that there were not some hiccups when you change over, because it's pretty
Yep.
much part of the game, right?
Yep.
It's par for the course. But do you feel like we've gotten through all of those now?
I think so. And as we come across them, we address them and move forward.
All
We're
right.
in a better position now.
Okay, cool.
So if there's nothing else, I see that this is noting that we have a motion to do this, but we're not in the motion section yet. Am I okay to have the motion now?
We can take it out of order. Yes,
Okay.
make that motion.
So we'll I'd make a motion to approve the 2024 audit as presented by Bucknell Lisicki. Is there a second for that?
I'll second.
Thank you, Sonny. Any other questions or concerns?
Nope. Nope. Thanks for having me. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Chris.
Bob for having me. Till next year, right?
Thank you,
I
sir.
guess as a motion,
Yep.
I can open to the floor if anyone from the floor has questions or concerns about the audit. Beautiful. Seeing them, we can move to a vote. All those in favor of the motion to approve the 2024 audit as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Have a great
Thanks,
evening.
Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
B is the proclamation regarding precision. I'm having a fun day. Precision roll grinders for the 2025 Lehigh Valley Manufacturer of the Year. As this has my name, but can I defer to you to introduce it and then I'll do some reading? Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Gotcha.
It's okay. We received information that this year, precision roll grinders, I did that better than you. Precision roll grinders are going to be honored with the 2025 Lehigh Valley Manufacturer of the Year. And the township has a service award that is going to be presented to them.
So we're going to make a proclamation in their honor, yes?
That's correct.
Do you have a copy of that so I can read it?
Yes, I do.
It's a lot of words. So I'm going to read this so that everyone gets to hear it. This is the Distinguished Service Award honoring Precision Roll Grinders 2025 Lehigh Valley Manufacturer of the Year. Whereas Precision Roll Grinders, located in Upper McConkey Township, has demonstrated excellence in manufacturing, innovation, and workforce development, setting a high standard for business throughout the Lehigh Valley and beyond. And whereas Precision Roll Grinders has been selected as the 2025 Lehigh Valley Manufacturer of the Year by the Lehigh Valley Manufacturing Forum, an award that recognizes outstanding leadership, operational excellence, and a commitment to the regional economy. And whereas Precision Roll Grinders has been a valued member of the Upper McConkey Township business community, providing quality employment opportunities, contributing to local economic growth, and upholding a reputation for precision, reliability, and excellence in their industry. And whereas the success, gosh darn it, of Precision Roll Grinders reflects the dedication of its leadership team, the skill of its workforce, and its commitment to innovation, customer service, and community engagement. And whereas Upper McConkey Township is proud to celebrate and recognize the achievements of this businesses that bring distinction to our community and strengthen the economic vitality of the region. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of Supervisors of Upper McConkey Township hereby congratulates Precision Roll Grinders on being named the 2025 Lehigh Valley Manufacturer of the Year, commends their outstanding accomplishments, and expresses gratitude for their continued contributions to Upper McConkey Township and the Greater Lehigh Valley. Duly presented by the Board of Supervisors of the Upper McConkey Township on this second day of October 2025, and lawful session duly assembled to be signed. Is there a motion to approve that proclamation?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any,
Is anybody here from?
would have been really nice if they were.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Get that lucky.
All right. Sometimes you win the good game, sometimes you don't. I don't assume there's not going to be any comment from the audience on this, so we can move to a vote. All those in favor of the proclamation as so expertly read, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Jasmine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We are to discussions and updates where we have none, so we're moving to ordinances. Ordinance 2025-03, condemnation of a 1,125 square foot portion of land for a utility easement and creation of a possible trail connection at the unopened stub street of Steeplechase Lane, adjacent to the properties at 6015 and 6023 Palomino Drive. Andrew.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This ordinance 2025-03 is authorizing the condemnation of a area, and to give you some background, there's an existing paved street, Steeplechase Lane, that when that residential subdivision was approved, there was a stub street in between two properties known as 6015 and 6023 Palomino Drive. The street was never opened up, but it's still there as an unopened street. There is a development, a 25-unit townhouse development that is being proposed and going through the approval process directly to the south of this. That development is proposed to be served by public sewer and public water. In reviewing the plans, township staff and township engineer, as well as the applicant, recognized that if they were to provide those utility services through existing lines, it would have to traverse through wetlands, and the length of the infrastructure improvements would be approximately 600 feet. About half of that would run through wetlands. Public Works thought it would be a much better route to come directly through this paper street to make a run that's a lot less complicated. It would not have to go through the wetlands, and it's a much shorter connection, which would help the township in its ongoing maintenance and infrastructure costs. The applicant was originally tasked with trying to secure that, but because it was not on their property, they did not have any luck in doing so. So the first part of this condemnation is to authorize an easement, basically think subsurface rights to allow water and sewer lines to connect from Palomino Drive through the unopened steeplechase road. I don't know, do we have this up, the exhibits up on the board? It might make it a little bit easier. And then there's a second part, while Jasmine's pulling that up, there's a second part of this that subsequent to this design taking place, township staff, with the adoption of the VZAP, which is the Vision Zero Action Plan, which promotes connectivity throughout the township, recognize that if there would be a connecting walking path from the proposed development up through the unopened, same route as the utilities, that would provide a safe connection through that existing development in and along Citronia Road out to Grange Road Park. So while those plans are not formalized, there's a second part of this condemnation that would be for a fee simple rights to connect that walking path. And the reason why they're bifurcated here is because that path is not yet designed, and we don't want to slow down the developer, the applicant with this. We still need to, it's the intent of the township to let matters settle with the utilities and then make that connection. So that's why they're bifurcated. And I don't know if Ron prepared or wants to speak on this, but so there's two condemnation actions within this ordinance. One's for the subsurface rights, which are being proposed in the shaded area, and then the walking path would be in and along that area as well. The reason why it's on the one side of the unopened steeplechase lane is if you see, well, actually you can't see, but directly to the south of that, the wetlands are still existing on that property. So we're trying to shift it away from the wetlands to avoid them in their entirety. Is that
That's in the wetlands being in the
gray hatch.
the gray hatched area?
Right.
Okay.
So with that, it would be appropriate based upon the planning commission has reviewed the utility aspect. The fee simple walking path came after the fact. It was kind of a late addition to this process. But township staff, myself, township engineer are in favor of this action and feel it would be appropriate to make a motion to approve this condemnation.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-03, condemning a 25-foot wide area within the unopened street, Steeplechase Lane, traversing between the properties at 6015 and 6023 Palomino Drive. 1, a utility easement for sanitary sewer connection, and 2, fee simple area for a future public walking path.
I'll second that motion. Thank you, Jim.
Just to add to the comment is that the township did send notice of
Notices.
this along with the ordinance to each of these property owners. I'm not quite certain whether or not they have any legal right to ownership, but they may. So we included them with this notice. And I did speak with one of the property owners, and I believe that they may be here this evening. But just to make that clear to the board and to the public that these property owners that may be impacted have been notified.
Okay. So I guess the easy thing to do is, are the property owners at on Palomino Drive that are impacted by this here tonight? Sir, you want to come up and introduce yourself for me?
My name is Muhammad Siddiqui. So I live on 6023 Palomino Drive.
Okay. And it's Mr. Siddiqui, it's your lot that's the most abutting on the area that we're talking about,
Yeah.
right? And I guess without directing the witness, what are your feelings on this?
Yeah, we've been living on the property for last 24 years. So if it is for public usage, then it's okay.
Okay, and that's what it's going to be for. We can't condemn it for Jim to have another parking lot. It would be for us to use it for the walking path eventually, and to make sure that we have this sewer easement to connect this new development. So if it's for public use, you're okay with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Is anyone from the Yang Family Trust, the other Lot 39 here? I know we have some folks from Jandal here as well. Steph, you want to come up and say a few words?
Thank you, sir.
Lots of tall people before me.
Sorry.
Stephanie Coble on behalf of Grange Mill LLC. Only one note to make. There's also, it's public sewer and public water running through the easement. So I just wanted to make that clarification that it's
Okay.
both.
And those are both going to be the township's taking ownership of both of that, yeah?
I'm sorry.
The township's taking control or ownership of both of those lines, sewer and water?
Yes.
No,
No.
No.
Well, no,
Water would
just
be
the
LCA.
sewer.
Lehigh County
It's
Authority.
LCA would
Yeah.
be but it would be the township's easement that we
Yeah.
would
Yep.
grant rights
Everybody has to
to.
know.
Correct.
To that.
Well, you had Scotty was ready to come out of his
Everybody
chair.
yelling at me.
Yes.
You might have heard from him if you'll let
That's
that go a
okay.
little bit.
Okay. We have a motion. We have a second. Jim or Sonny, questions or concerns or comments?
No,
I'm
I
good.
don't have any.
I don't have any either. Anyone from the public have any concerns or comments? Seeing none, we can move to a vote. All those in favor of the motion to adopt ordinance 2025-03 as presented, signify by saying aye.
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 Any of those opposed? That passes. Thank you, Mr. Siddiqui, for your attendance tonight. Appreciate it. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, actually, thank you very much for considering the public use and, making a, I guess a gesture to the public. So I do appreciate that. Thank you.
We are to resolutions. This is resolution 2025-37, the intermunicipal liquor license transfer request. Jasmine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Earlier this evening, we did hold
And we
a,
voted.
No, we didn't vote on anything. This is where we are.
We just had.
I
the
thought
hearing.
we went out of turn and voted on.
No, that
Okay,
was the
all right.
that was Bucknell Sicky. We went on a turn.
Ah, sorry.
It's all right.
You're right.
earlier this evening, we held
Sorry,
a
Jess.
public, it's okay, held a public meeting for the intermunicipal liquor license transfer request for 241 North PA Route 100. This is going, the Pennsylvania Liquor Code requires applicants to obtain from the receiving municipality a resolution approving an intermunicipal transfer of the liquor license prior to the submission of the application to the PCLB. The Liquor Code also stipulates that prior to adoption of resolution by the receiving municipality, there should be at least one public hearing that should be held, and that was held earlier today. And with this, it is before the board for your action.
Thank you, Jess.
Sorry.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-37, authorizing an intermunicipal liquor license transfer request of liquor license number R-600521 from 10th Street LLC, City of Allentown, to U.S. Petroleum Service, Inc., 241 North PA Route 100. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Sonny. This is what we had at the hearing that everyone was here for tonight. Are there any questions, concerns, comments that we need to address now? Jim?
No.
Sonny? Anything from the audience on this? Perfect. We can call the question, move to a vote. All those in favor of the motion to adopt resolution 2025-37, authorizing the transfer of the liquor license, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That passes. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you both. Thank you. Good luck. Thank you, Angela. We are to resolution B, 2025-38, docket 2347, Lehigh Valley West 57. This is the 110 PA Route 100 warehouse. Final land development plan. Meredith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The proposed development consists of the construction of a 150,585 square foot warehouse with associated parking, stormwater management areas, and other associated site improvements. The zoning hearing board granted special exception approval subject to 24 conditions on November 22nd, 2023. The Board of Supervisors also granted preliminary land development plan approval on November 7th, 2024, And lastly, the Planning Commission recommended final land development approval on August 20th, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-38, granting final land development plan approval for docket 2347, Lehigh Valley West 57, 110 PA Route 100 Warehouse, conditioned upon the comments found in the Township Engineer Review Letter dated September 22nd, 2025.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Jim. Ryan?
Yes. So there are several items I know that I believe, Sonny, you brought up to Meredith earlier this week that I'd like to address tonight. One dealing with the snow scrapers. So based on the zoning decision and notes that they have on their approved plans, they are required to have movable snow scrapers, come in and out, before storms during the winter season. So the regulation of that will have to be per the building code officials and the zoning officers, and we'll just have to monitor that moving forward. And then the second item, I believe you had concerns with LVPC's comment regarding traffic circulation and keeping trucks and civilians and workers segregated. So they did provide signage to make sure that the workers did not go into the truck parking lot. So we were satisfied with that as well.
Okay, great. Appreciate that. Anything else?
Additional items, they did receive their MPDES approval. The other conditions, they are still seeking approval from PennDOT, and they're working through their agreements with the solicitor and us.
Okay.
We have representatives, from the warehouse. Mr. Crowley? How are you, sir?
Good. How are you? Good evening. My name's Dan Rowley. I'm representing the applicant here tonight. I think everything that was said by township staff was accurate. No waivers, no further comments in any of the review letters. So unless there are any questions for me.
Okay. Questions, Sonny?
Yeah, no, the only, I looked through everything pretty thoroughly. You asked a lot of questions. The one thing that I was reviewing too was the LVPC letter. And so for everyone who's not familiar with that it's a bi-county comprehensive plan. It's the regional plan. And what the LVPC does, it assesses compatibility between that plan and what the regional plan is, and it highlights anything that was that might need to be addressed or looked at or whatnot. And I went through it all, and for the most part, a lot of things that were highlighted triggered a red flag. I went into looking at it and asking questions, and it looks like a lot of them were fulfilled either through the zoning hearing board criteria, a letter, and what you did. I want to thank you. I also noticed in the plan that you've got 2 slots for EV charging on there, right? And I appreciated that. This is more of an ask, but as we move forward, please consider, our air pollution and it's actually one of the worst in the area. So anything you can do to reduce that, those emissions, like putting in solar, electrification at the docks. You did EV stations, but electrification at the docks that would minimize idling of trucks would be appreciated. And this is an ask. We don't have it in our ordinance yet, so it's not something that we can mandate, but I can certainly ask. And actually, one of the things that I appreciated too were all of the sidewalks that you put in, meeting the Lanta request for the bus stations. One thing that we do need to do at some point, because it's a very dangerous situation, Route 100, you can't cross safely. One of the things we have on our Vision Zero plan is to put like a crosswalk overhead and a handyman. You're welcome to make contributions to that if you like. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
I don't think Mr. Rowley is going to make those contributions for sure.
Thank you for your comments.
All right, I don't have any comments. Anything from the audience on this? Public comment on the application here? All right, seeing none, we can move to a vote. All those in favor of the motion to approve Resolution 2025-38, granting final land development plan approval to docket 2347, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes. Thank you, Mr.
Thanks
Rowley.
for your
Good
time
luck to you.
today.
Thank you.
Sonny, I got to turn the next Resolution C over to you.
Okay, and I am ready. So this is resolution number 2025-39, docket number 2197, Town Place Suites, 5828 Memorial Road, request for modification. I'm going to turn that over to Meredith.
Actually, I'm going to pass that one along to Ryan.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm just going to note just really quickly, I have to recuse myself because Attorney Hoffman, who's here on behalf of the applicant, is my partner or works with me at Gross McGinley, so I am not participating in the consideration in case anyone's wondering what I'm doing. So,
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And thank you, Sonny. As the board may recall, at last January's Board of Supervisors meeting, the township called 4 deferrals for 4 different properties throughout the township, and this was one of them. We have worked with the applicant and their site engineer over the past 8 months to come up with a plan that we're comfortable with and such. Because the development was fully built out without consideration of a sidewalk along Tillman Street and Memorial, there are some existing issues and utilities and landscaping and swales and things of that nature that are now in the way of a straight parallel sidewalk. So they are seeking a waiver a modification for a waiver. Let me read the comment review letter for that. So they are seeking a waiver is requested to allow the sidewalk along Memorial Street to be partially outside of the right-of-way and to have less than a 5-foot grass strip. Currently, it's approximately a 3-foot grass strip provided between the sidewalk and curb due to an existing swale along the road. A waiver is also requested to allow a 4-foot wide sidewalk along Tillman Street that is almost completely outside of the right-of-way and which has more than a 5-foot grass strip, which varies considerably between the curb and sidewalk for all but the last 60 feet of sidewalk along the westernmost section. This to avoid existing utilities along Tillman Street. So they have worked with us. As I indicated, there's a spray irrigation area, there's landscaping, there's a swale, there's a stormwater vault adjacent to Tillman Street, and they have satisfied our comments, and the Planning Commission recommended approval as well.
All right. So just in order to start the discussion, I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2025-39, granting approval of one waiver to docket number 2197, Town Place Suites.
I'll second that motion.
All right, it's moved and seconded. Any discussion, or do you have any questions, Jim?
Now, as long as the planning commission's good with everything, and Ryan, you're good,
Yes.
HRG's good, so.
Correct.
All right, yeah, so I'm also good, and actually I've walked this area before, and I certainly saw some of the challenges,
Right.
in making the sidewalk connection. So I think the request is reasonable.
Well, as you may recall, with their approved land development, they have the hotel, which is now open. They also have an out parcel future restaurant. And the intent when it was approved by the township years ago was for there to be a sidewalk internal to the site, run in front of the restaurant, and then connect to the westernmost part of their property. As we discussed last January, and I believe, Jim, you were the one who brought it up, you'd prefer to see a straight connection, from the intersection at Blue Barn and Memorial to directly connect, or Tillman, Blue Barn and Tillman, to directly connect to the west.
That's right. Okay, well, I think there's any other discussions from the board, or is there any discussions from the public? Does anyone else want to speak?
The applicant and their engineer and attorney are here.
Okay, do you guys
Questions
have
for
any,
them as well.
I'm sorry, you're right. Do you have anything you want to add? No, okay. All right, so hearing no other discussions, I'm going to call for a vote. Those approving, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Nobody's denying, so the motion passes. Thank you. Okay, you want this back?
Sure.
You're back now.
Thank you. That's it for the resolutions tonight. We've moved on to section 9, which is the motions. Motion A, authorizing the advertisement of an amendment to the zoning ordinance for data centers. Andrew.
Thank you. As the board is aware, township staff and consultants have been working on a massive project to rewrite the entirety of the zoning ordinance. It's been brought to the township staff and consultants' attention that there are some concerns about data centers. So we have prepared a draft revision or amendment to the zoning ordinance that will include the provision for data centers. And the draft would, to summarize it kind of broadly, the draft would permit data centers by conditional use in the general industrial district and in the rural technology district only and that there are certain conditions, additional requirements that need to be met in order to qualify or satisfy the ordinance to allow that use in those districts. In compiling this ordinance, we have looked at a lot of model ordinances as well as existing ordinances and feel that the draft is in a condition where it can be forwarded onto the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission as well as the Upper Macungie Township Planning Commission for their review. We'd also request that a public hearing be scheduled for December, and so that could be brought before the board for action at the December meeting as well.
So you touched on three motions at once, so we're going to make one at a time here.
Okay.
And we'll do the first, which is I make a motion to authorize the advertisement of an amendment to the zoning ordinance for data centers.
I'll second.
Thank you, Sonny. So that's just a motion to advertise the hearing that we'll get to in a minute. Any questions or concerns about that, Jim?
No, sir.
Sonny? Any questions from the audience about advertising a hearing? Yeah, we're just talking about advertising the hearing at this point, Mr. Foos. We'll get to I think the next one, actually. I'm going to take them a little bit out of turn. But seeing none, we'll move to vote. All those in favor of the motion to advertise the amendment to the zoning ordinance, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. I'm going to take it out of turn and go to motion C, just authorizing the advertisement of a public hearing for December 4th, 2025 for the zoning ordinance for data centers.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Jim. I don't think we need any from Andrew. Is there any question or concern from anyone about the December 4th date for a hearing on the data center zoning ordinance? Perfect. Seeing none, we can move to a vote. All those in favor of the motion to authorize the advertisement of a public hearing on December 4th, 2025 for the zoning ordinance amendment for data centers, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes. We're backwards to motion B. I'm going to make a motion to authorize township staff to send the draft zoning ordinance amendment for data centers to the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission and the Upper Macungie Township Planning Commission. Is there a second for that?
I'll second
Thank you, Jim. All right. Questions and concerns, Sonny, on this is where we're getting into the body of the draft itself.
Yes, no, I've read through that. I think it was fine. It essentially used the model ordinance that we were able to find, and as well as incorporating amendments and zoning from various other municipalities that recently passed it. I was satisfied with it, and I actually want to thank the staff for being proactive and addressing this new need that's coming up. It's changing in an ever-evolving manner, and to get it in front of, we want to get in front of any potential use. So I think it's appreciated that we try to act as quickly as possible to get that ordinance and use into our zoning. So thank you.
And just to build upon what you said, township staff and consultants are continuing to work on the entirety of the rewrite. This is not something that we're going to adopt and put it to the side. We envision that this is probably going to need some more touching up, so to speak, as this use becomes more and more prevalent in these areas. So we are not going to adopt this and then just set it to the side. We're going to continue to look at this and see if it needs some additional provisions and requirements.
I agree, and one of the things we have to realize, this is an ever-evolving use. It's new. It's moving quickly, and for us to want to get into, we want to have something right away, and we realize that it may need changing later on. But instead of waiting for perfection, it's better to just get something out there and make sure we're addressing the need. And I'm very satisfied with the way it was addressed and how we handled it. So I have no questions, only praise for the work that you did in getting it. Township staff and consultants to move as quickly as you did to get it done. Thank you.
Jim?
I'm good.
I'm going to ask a quick question that I know the answer to, but Andrew, we have to have something in here for data centers. We have to allow them in the township. Otherwise, it's a violation of state law.
That's correct, yes.
And so what you've presented here tonight is your and the staff's best effort to make something reasonable that provides some guardrails to make sure that we're protecting the health, safety, and welfare of the community as best we can?
I would say that that is accurate, but I wouldn't say that it's just something that's been thrown together haphazardly or anything
I
like
wasn't
that.
implying that it was.
But it's probably more than guide rails. I think it's in good shape. And again, repeating myself, that we did look at a number of ordinances and model ordinances and kind of felt that we picked the provisions that best suited Upper Macungie Township. Some of these municipalities are by rivers or by, other sources that the areas that we would allow these aren't, they don't have a Lehigh River or large river running through this. So we didn't really incorporate those provisions, but it is a valid ordinance, and it serves the township well, but we're not going to let it sit idle during the rewrite.
And just so, I guess, in case not everyone's reading it like I am, some of the interesting requirements I think should be noted. Data centers can't be any closer than 200 feet from a residential zoning district, yeah?
Yes.
And in addition to that, any of the equipment can't be seen because there's an earthen berm that's going to be required to make sure that the equipment, which includes some of the power lines and interior structures, are in theory hidden from the public view.
I believe that's, I don't have it pulled up. I'm scrolling.
Yeah,
through
it's
it now,
okay.
Mary,
I have the
but
advantage
yes.
of reading it. Sorry. And then there's an entire section on noise, that there's an effort here to make sure not only is there a preliminary sound study, an interim sound study, an as-built sound study 6 months afterwards, and also the reservation of the rights of the township to perform a later sound study to confirm that they're complying with the noise ordinance as it's been drafted and applied this past year, to make sure that we're considering the welfare of the community while we're allowing this, while we're controlling the builds of these facilities. Is that right?
That's correct. And two other probably facts that you want to mention is the source of water and the source of power. They have to provide studies that their drawing of any power is not going to impact the local residents, because some of these facilities come in and they drain a lot of power, and it drives up the demand and the rates of neighboring residents. The same with water. If they're going to be drawing a lot of water, we want to be certain that they have the appropriate approvals in place. Some of these also require significant power, and they're using unique sources to generate that power. But if it's, I'll use the term loosely, nuclear power, they need to go through the federal approval process. That's out of the township's hands.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. I would echo Sonny's sentiments that I know we asked relatively recently for this to be put together. Meredith and Andrew and Ryan and your team did a nice job putting this together. Appreciate the effort and the work.
And I think that another important, it is, I mentioned, conditional use, which would come before the governing body, not before the zoning hearing board. So it's the governing body that was requesting this. So we felt that it was best for the governing body to be the approving body with these centers, if they would come into the area.
Questions from the audience? Mr. Foose.
Good evening, members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity to address you today. I'm here to advocate for the adoption of a robust and clear ordinance that addresses the emerging presence of data centers in our community. As we look to our neighboring South Whitehall Township, we find a proactive approach that we can model our own ordinance upon. South Whitehall has proposed a planned innovation research and technology overlay district, which includes specific provisions for data centers. Under this proposal, by right use, data centers up to 500,000 square feet and 50 feet in height would be permitted by right within the PIRT overlay, provided they meet stringent design and impact management criteria. Conditional use, smaller data centers up to 150,000 square feet and 40 feet in height would be allowed by conditional use within the base industrial zone, subject to review and approval by the Board of Commissioners. This is from South Whitehall. These provisions are designed to ensure that data centers are developed in a manner that is consistent with the community's goals and values. Furthermore, South Whitehall's ordinance includes specific requirements to mitigate potential impacts. light emanation. The ordinance sets strict limits on light emanation from data centers, ensuring that operations do not adversely affect surrounding areas. This includes requirements for shielding and directing lighting to minimize spillover onto adjacent properties. Noise control, stricter objective noise limits are established for data centers, ensuring that operations do not adversely affect surrounding areas. Bufferings and setbacks. The PIRT district requires extensive setbacks and buffering to shield new development in the industrial zone so that it is less impactful to the surrounding community. By adopting similar standards, Upper Macungie Township can proactively manage the development of data centers, ensuring that they contribute positively to our community while mitigating potential negative impacts. I urge this board to consider the example set by South Whitehall Township and adopt an ordinance that is firm, clear, and forward-thinking. Let us set a high standard for responsible development that reflects the aspirations of our community. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Mr. DePro.
I'm not sure if that gentleman was listening to you when you made your motion, but you obviously said you were looking at other programs and other, give our township some credit. They did do their work and they continue to do their work. That comment to me was out of order.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck.
Any other public comment? Seeing none, I think this matter is ready for a vote. All those in favor of the motion to authorize township staff to extend the draft zoning ordinance amendment for data centers to the LBPC and the Upper Macungie Planning Commission, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes 3-0. Thank you. Again, Andrew, Ryan, and Meredith, thank you for the work. We are to motion D, adopting a employee safety manual. Bob.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Township Safety Committee completed the Employee Safety Manual and Accident and Illness Prevention Program about 3 years ago in 2022. At that time, the board didn't take any official action to adopt it. During a recent, I won't call it an audit, but a sit down with our workers' comp carrier, they felt it was best that the board recognize this policy. We did do some minor updates. Old employees' names have been changed to reflect new positions and such. So it's before you now for your adoption. Our carrier likes the policy. I don't know where Pete went, but Pete was also instrumental with the safety committee in getting it put together.
So I'll make a motion to adopt the employee safety manual and accident and illness prevention program for Upper Macungie Township employees as presented.
I'll second that. Thank you, Sonny. I'll take Pete's absence as overwhelmingly in favor. Thank you, Pete, for coming back. Not to emphasize too much. Questions or concerns from anyone? Sonny?
I have no questions.
Jim?
I'm good. Just wondering what, where Pete was, that's all.
We don't need an
That's my
answer,
only question.
nor do we really want one. Anyone from the audience have any questions or concerns regarding an employee safety manual? Seeing none, we can move to a vote. All those in favor of the motion to adopt the Employee Safety Manual Accident and Illness Prevention Program, signify by saying aye.
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 All that passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Pete. Well done.
Do you know why we didn't adopt it? I don't remember that. It just got.
I don't think there was a requirement at that time to do
Okay.
it, but now, 3 years later, they'd like to see a motion that you acknowledge it.
And we've done it. Motion E, authorizing extension of time for the recording of docket 2334, the Blue Triton semi-truck entrance. Meredith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This plan was initially approved on February 6th, 2025, and they did receive one extension on June 5th of this year. They did come back in August to the board for approval of 2 modification requests. They needed 2 waivers because there was an issue that was raised by the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission, and then they also had a stormwater issue to resolve. So they have been working on the plans. They had that change, so they are requesting the second extension, and staff is recommending that this be the last.
I'll make a motion to authorize the extension of time limitation for the recording of docket number 2334, Blue Triton semi-truck entrance to February 1st, 2026.
I'll second that. Thank you, Jim. Any questions or concerns, Sonny?
No.
Jim?
I'm good.
Can we officially make the motion that this will be the last one, or can we modify the motion and indicate that no further extensions will be given, or is it just a note for the file on that?
You've done that in the past, and I feel that's
I'll
acceptable.
amend my motion to include that this is the last extension to be granted.
It'd be amended to be a motion to authorize a final extension of the time limitation for the recording of the docket to February 1st, 2026. Is that fair, Jim?
I'm fine with
I'll
that.
second that. And Meredith, does that satisfy the staff's desire on this?
Yes.
Okay.
It should not create any problems because we have draft agreements in place. There just needs to be there was a new exhibit to the deed or dedication because of the revision, so
Okay.
it should not be
So you
problematic for them to get that.
You
together.
seconded?
I second it. Anyone in the audience concerned about a final extension of time for Blue Triton? Seeing none, we can move to a vote. All those in favor of the motion to authorize a final extension of the time limitation for the recording of docket 2334 to February 1, 2026, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes. Thank you, Meredith. But we're going to come right back to you with motion F, authorizing extension of time of recording docket 2363 for Eastern Lift Truck expansion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This plan was approved on July 3rd, 2025. This will be their first extension. They are working diligently toward plan recording. We have their check set, and they just submitted documentation this week for a pre-security agreement, and Andrew has drafted their agreements, and they are working to get the plans recorded, so I believe they will be able to do it within this time.
I'll make a motion to authorize the extension of time limitation for the recording of docket number 2363, Eastern Lift Truck Building Addition to February 28th, 2026.
I'll second that. Thank you, Jim. Questions or concerns, Sonny?
Oh, none.
Jim?
I'm good.
We don't have any issues with these folks?
No.
Okay. Anyone from the audience? Carol, anything? All right. All those in favor of the motion to authorize extension of time for the recording of docket 2363 to February 28th, 2026, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you, Meredith. G, authorizing the township manager to sign rental agreements for township-owned properties. Bob?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The township owns 2 dwelling units that are rented to people for the last probably 20 years. We also have areas of open space that we allow farmers to farm. It's been years since the agreements have been looked at by our solicitor and updated. And this is basically a housekeeping, I should say. We're not cleaning house, we're keeping it.
Not yet.
So the agreements have been prepared by the township solicitor. The renters have all been contacted. They're all aware of the changes, and everyone is okay to move forward. It just needs the board's action to authorize it.
So I'll make a motion to authorize the township manager to execute renewal lease agreements with the current long-term tenants for the continued occupancy of township-owned parcels containing residential dwelling units and farmland. All lease agreements shall be drafted to the satisfaction of the township manager and solicitor.
I'll second that. Thank you, Sonny. Questions or concerns, Sonny?
None.
Jim?
I'm good.
I'm good as well. Anyone from the audience have questions about the long-term lease agreements? Lovely. We can move to vote. All those in favor of the motion to authorize the township manager to execute lease renewal lease agreement, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
H, awarding bid for a secondary winter salt provider.
Thank you, Mr.
Scott,
Chairman.
I didn't even throw it to you yet.
I'll
Calm
wait.
down. To Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Every year we do an alternate bid for salt. This year, Lower McCundy did the bidding, and Eastern Salt came in at the low bid at $83.50 a ton.
How does that compare to prior bids?
The CoStar is $90.64.
Okay, it's good.
I'll make a motion to award the alternate winter salt supplier bid to Eastern Salt Inc. at a cost of $83.50 per ton delivered.
I'll second.
Thank you, Sonny. Any questions, Jim?
No, sir.
Sonny?
Nope.
Anybody in the audience want to ask Scott any questions about salt? This is your chance. Scott, I believe the question is about the diameter of the salt.
It's state approved. How's that?
State approved is the answer. All those in favor of the motion to award the alternate winter salt supplier bid to Eastern Salt Inc. $83.50 per ton delivered, signify by saying aye.
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 And that passes 3-0. Thank you, Scott. Motion I, authorizing the township manager to enter an agreement for the lease of fitness equipment for the Upper Macungie Township Community Lifestyle Center. Ryan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a motion to authorize various equipment leases for the fitness center and sports performance mezzanines that are scheduled to be part of the Community Lifestyle Center. We have worked with our founding partner, LVHN, and Advantage Sports and Fitness Inc., which is a cooperative purchasing agreement vendor for a lot of equipment. We do have a fly-through video rendering if we could queue it up and indulge us for about a minute and a half. With this lease, it gives us a lot of flexibility and options. The first piece of this is it is about a 20-week lead time for the equipment for delivery and installation, which is why we like to do this now. However, the life of the lease would not start till the equipment is installed in 2026 and would carry for 3 years. It's approximately $286,803 per year for the 3 years. With this, key to kind of cardio equipment is that with the leasing company, we also have access to software that will allow us to track usage. So let's say part of this, there are 6 treadmills and one of them is, getting 1,000 miles of use in a year and the next one's getting 50. We're able to see maybe we need to move it in the layout so it gets used properly, when to schedule maintenance, or also at the end of the 3 years, make a decision on, do we need 6 treadmills versus 3? Do we need 9 instead of 6? It gives us that opportunity to do so. That's all I have. So you can see how pretty cool it is to see all the equipment in the actual space of the Community Lifestyle Center. I did not realize there was sound. I apologize.
It's a good time.
There's even shadow lighting. We're not going to fly by again. Are we?
How much more is this going
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yep. So we're going to have equipment on both.
Yeah. It's all the same spot though, right? It's all. Oh. Okay. Okay. It's a lot of equipment.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the authorize the lease of fitness center equipment for the Upper Macungie Township Community Lifestyle Center in the amount of $286,803 per year for 3 years, totaling $860,409 from Advantage Sport and Fitness Inc. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Ryan, do we get the music with the equipment?
That almost made me want to work out. I don't know. Almost. It's close.
I know we're half joking, but one of the items to know is some with that cardio equipment, you saw that there were a lot of video screens. So we are thinking proactively on how that could be part of sponsorships or donation packages that can run on that type of equipment as well.
Okay. But you didn't answer my question. Does the music come with it? Do we like pipe that into the center?
Sure, we can find a way with the sound equipment to get your sound.
I believe that was his way of not taking you seriously, but not saying anything.
And that was
Jeff.
my way of getting an answer to
All
my
right, well.
non-serious question. Sonny.
So yeah, so obviously I'll be honest with you, I drove Brian crazy probably the last couple of days because I asked him a ton of questions. I mean, it's a lot of equipment. We're talking about almost $1 million worth of equipment, and if we lease it, it's about 860,000. So I really questioned this lease. I'm not a lease guy. I always like to buy everything, so I questioned it a little bit. But I'm satisfied with the lease for a couple of reasons. Number one, we don't know exactly how the equipment's going to get used. So in 3 years, you have a chance to decide, hey, this didn't work. This worked. This is our first foray into the fitness center. So. And everybody's, I'm sure if you're like me, you're like, wow, that's a lot of money. Trust me, I was right there. But the fact that it gives us the ability to make tweaks and adjustments kind of won me over. And here's the irony here, Ryan. I didn't tell you this, but I literally walked right by this place. I was in Ithaca last week, and this place is located in a mall. Had I known, I'd run in and ask them for a coupon, but I didn't know about it. But no, I kind of walked my. I'm there with you now, but I had some concern about the lease agreement. But I talked to staff and they gave me a lot of good advice and information, and I'm in favor. So I'm good.
Jim,
I'm good.
no questions from me. Anyone from the audience? I know Chuck wants to keep dancing to the music, but other than that, all right. Seeing none, we can move to a vote. All those in favor of the motion to authorize the lease of the fitness center equipment for the Lifestyle Center signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you, Ryan. Skipping J as it's been removed, we're to K, authorizing the sale of a used tailgate shoulder machine to Lowell Township. Mr. Faust.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a 1992 machine that we do not use anymore, and Low Hill's offering $2,500 for it.
A man
You
of
were
many words.
amazing.
He just gets a point across quickly. I'll make a motion to authorize the sale of a 1992 tailgate shoulder machine highway side to Low Hill Township at a price of $2,500.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Jim. Questions or concerns, Sonny?
None.
Jim?
I'm good.
None from me. Anyone in the audience want to ask Scott any questions about a shoulder machine?
Kathy was here when we bought it, I'm sure.
Seeing none, we can move to a vote. All those in favor of the motion to authorize the sale of the 1992 tailgate shoulder machine, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That passes. Thank you, Scott. We're to board and staff reports. The monthly department reports are available at the back of the room, have been posted to the township's website. Are there any, I don't know why I asked this. I just go around the room. Michelle.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to announce that Lehigh County is hosting a household hazardous waste event to be held on November 1st, which is a Saturday from 8 to 3 at Coca-Cola Park. All county residents must register or pre-register at lehighcounty.org.
Thank you, Michelle. Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to remind everybody that next week is Fire Prevention Week. It's a good time of the year to check your smoke detectors, make sure your fire extinguishers are good. My staff has close to 20 events scheduled over the next 2 weeks throughout the township.
And can you, Pete, help us understand what's going on at Station 56 on Sunday? That the pushing the trucks into the, the truck housing?
So they're going to be pushing their trucks into the station.
Comedy of errors, I'll tell you.
Man,
This-
I probably should have prepped you before I was
Yeah.
going to ask you that. But so Station 56 is doing a housing event on Sunday at 1 o'clock. They've asked the public to come join them to celebrate some
It's
new.
a housing celebration.
They're doing a housing
an event.
celebration. It's not an
It's a
event.
celebration.
It's a celebration where they do a traditional where they all get together and physically actually push the equipment into the facility. I've been told it's going to be a rousing good time. Everyone's invited. And I just wanted to use you as an example to get that out. So thanks for not offering any information at all. Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We will not be pushing any equipment anywhere, and I don't have anything.
I wanted
Mike,
to,
that was funny.
I did want to thank you, Chief. I was able to get back, I was able to get to Dunkin' Donuts yesterday in the morning to meet with the community staff there. The outreach is important. I don't know how many people actually end up coming, but offering our police staff to have an outreach to the community is really important. Wanted to make sure we thank you for doing that.
Thank you. I heard you were there. I just missed you, apparently,
No,
by 15
That's
minutes
why I
or
left
so.
so quickly. Bob.
Just real quick, starting next Tuesday and the following 2 Tuesdays after that, we have our 2026 budget workshop scheduled. Staff, especially Michelle, Wayne, all the department heads worked hard. We will present the board with a balanced budget that actually provides us about an $800,000 surplus. So we'll look forward to putting it all together in final form.
Thank you, Bob. That's 5 o'clock on the 6th and the 13th.
13th and possibly on the
possibly the 20th. Ryan.
Thank you. Just a couple updates about as we turn the page in the fall, a couple programs we still have going on in recreation. This past Saturday, we had one of our concerts in the park. Weather, again, as all summer long, has been hit or miss. A little lighter attendance at about 150. Coming up tomorrow night, we have our Wildlands programming, the Creepy Crawlies and Candy Hunt at Bryant'sville Park. I just want to note a shout out to Emily on this one because she added a candy hunt element to it. We filled the event with 35 people, and the wait list, just based on size and instructors, our wait list is saying at 52 participants. So word is getting out about our programs and connecting to them. And again, just reiterating that program is at Bryant'sville Park in particular. We have our makeup concert in the park from the rain in May coming up on Saturday. It's a fall festival theme with Eliza Rush and the Michael Patrick Band. I hear he's a Johnny Cash kind of vein of music. Barktoberfest is on Sunday at Grange Park, so it's a busy weekend each day and an event each day. We are on the backside of Grange Park. We have about 40 vendors, food vendors, beverage vendors, and pet type of vendors. So come on out, bring the dog. Maybe Jasmine will guide the pet parade, judge it, see whose pet can win the best contest. We added a second day of Zumba. So we have 2 different days of Zumba classes going on this fall at Jandal Elementary. We have yoga going on at Veterans Elementary. Both start this month. And our trunk or treat event is moved to Grange Park this year based on our size. And our public works staff, Jim in particular, and JT are putting a twist on it. That's going to be a great thing that while we are moving to Grange, we still got a wooded trail element as we did Lone Lane. So it's an exciting twist, and we're happy to have everyone out. And as we get 4,000 people, anyone who wants to come help hand out candy, give us a call and we'll get you assigned to a station.
When is that, Ryan?
That's Friday, October 17th.
Thank you, sir. Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had to add that October 13th, we do start leaf collection.
He said he speaks.
Recorded like practice.
Thank you, Scott. Wayne, welcome to the meeting. You have anything to add, Wayne? No, thank you, Mr. Chairman. You are the most polite of them all. Appreciate it. Ryan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a few engineering matters to discuss and mention. We continue to transition with Keystone and Township staff. Particularly, there's a few construction projects that they're still handling until a specific milestone hits. We're anticipating full turnover some point in October. This past Tuesday, the September 30th, we did submit the annual MS4 report on behalf of the township. The 2 Green Light Go projects you have ongoing, Tillman Street, we did submit to PennDOT and received comments, so we're working with them on that. And Hamilton Boulevard, as you might recall, needs a radio survey to check connectivity because of the sycamore trees. So the township has authorized Signal Service to perform that task. That's happening this month. VZAP is just a placeholder, but we look forward.
When this month?
I don't know
You,
the date.
you don't
Scott,
want
do
to
you know
wait
the date? Scott's my coordinator.
Before the
Nope.
leaf drop.
Yeah, don't wait till the leaf drop happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. Otherwise, it's okay.
And then the VZAP is just a placeholder on our report. We look forward to helping the township move forward with that in the coming years. And 6517 Citronia Road, potential site of the police station. We have submitted lot consolidation plans to the Planning Commission for consideration at this month's meeting. And we've also submitted MPDS permitting and earth moving applications to LCCD last week. Those are just to get a jump on the land development process. And we are looking forward to the trunk or treat. We will be set up with a stand there with a Jurassic theme.
He's going to volunteer to give out all the candy, right? You heard it right.
There you go. It's my favorite holiday of the year, so I love Halloween.
Good.
That's good.
Thank you, Ryan. Andrew?
I've, the only thing to add is I'm repeating myself for every month, but we're continuing to work on the zoning rewrite, which, as I alluded to during the course of the discussions on the data center, is a significant project. I'm working with the Parks and Recreation Department on getting some of their agreements for third-party rentals and indemnification for participants and instructors together. And that's pretty much all I have for this month, other than my typical workload.
Thank you, Andrew. Meredith?
The only thing I want to announce is that we do get a number of inquiries, a few every week, from developers and property owners asking how the rewrite will impact their properties. And I just want to say that we're not in a position where we can really answer those types of questions and get into that detail. But we are happy to just answer general questions. So I just wanted to make that note, since we do get many inquiries.
Do we have a lot of that information on the web that we can just direct them to that?
Not anymore. We took that down temporarily. We continue to work on the rewrite, as Andrew mentioned, but because those are evolving documents, we don't want people to see what was put out in, I don't know, May, June, and then take that as the final document. So no, and that's why I just want to say it's really hard to get into specifics on properties.
Well, I've had those discussions too, and I've at
Mhm.
that point directed them to the website. So that was kind of like my best way of handling the situation.
Sure.
So there's some benefit to having it, but I get it. If it's evolving and it's outdating before you put it up, then it's best to wait.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Jazz?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have a couple things as well. First is that we had executive sessions held this month on September 12th at 4 p.m., September 22nd at 4:30, and today, October 2nd at 5:30, and the topic discussed was personnel. I wanted to mention that I will be at Barktoberfest. So if you guys want to come out, I do enjoy Barktoberfest since the very first year I was here, and I will be there this year again. Kathy is here today with us, and we are coming up on the deadline for submissions for the Kathy Rader Award. And Kathy will be very happy to know that pretty soon we'll have a logo that will go up.
Is
We
it
currently have-
is it an old granny with glasses and a wall?
That was Jim Brunel with the comment.
Love you. Love you.
It was your birthday yesterday.
Love you.
Too. Speaking on his own and without consideration to the rest of us.
We currently have 10 nominations. Nominations will close on the 31st. Then the committee will meet and we will make our decision. Meeting information as of last month was being posted prior to the meeting. Those will be on the day before the meeting. There will be a link that you can actually access and you'll be able to look at the board packet that is out there for public. I have something else. We also have in the newsletter, there was an article for volunteers to preserve our past. So anyone that's interested in helping Upper Macungie with the Township Historical Preservation Society, feel free to reach out to me. I already have 6 people that have reached out to me to be part of this group. We continue to push information as much as we can to keep all of our residents informed. If there's anything that you're not seeing, feel free to reach out to me, and if available, I will be happy to put it out there as soon as possible. That is all.
Thank you, Jazz. Sonny?
No, I don't have anything.
Jim?
I've got nothing further.
Nothing from me. So we can move to public comment courtesy of the floor. Anyone want to say anything? The board recognizes Kathy Rader.
If she would please step up to the microphone.
Yeah. Come on up, because
Well,
we're
but
we're also on
Facebook.
YouTube.
Come on.
It's the millions that are watching on YouTube tonight that want to see you.
Would somebody help her with the walker? please?
Okay. Not yet, but that's coming soon. With the historical society that you're putting together, we used to put in the newsletter that anybody that's cleaning out because their mother or grandmother or someone is no longer is cleaning house or is no longer with us, to not throw out any old pictures, but to bring them to the township of the area. So I don't know that that's been done lately. I don't remember seeing it in the newsletter, but maybe you want to consider putting that in the newsletter again or on the website or any of that.
I can definitely go ahead and do a newsletter as well as a Facebook post to make sure that we do that a couple times as well.
Because I know when you get to the point where you're cleaning out, it's like, oh, what do we want with these old pictures? And they throw them out. Rather
Correct,
than do that,
absolutely.
they can bring 'em here.
Anything, yep, anything that is out there that you guys would like to donate to the Historical Preservation Society that we're putting together, we're more than happy to receive those from you.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
Anyone else with public comment? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I will second that motion.
Wow. All those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 8:37.